Hello, my name is Nicholas Chidici, and we represent the AVA project, which consists of Rick Corey, myself, and our group from the VEMI lab at the University of Maine, Stacy Dorr and her students from Colby College, and Shelley Lynn's group from Northeastern University. So we know that fully autonomous vehicles, or FAVs, are going to be deployed using a ride-share model. And it turns out that this poses some serious problems for driving limited populations who really stand most to benefit from this technology, such as blind and visually impaired folks and older adults, many of which experience vision loss. So, with this in mind, we conducted public engagement outreach and a number of interviews with the stakeholders across the country to identify a set of core problems. With this input, it motivated our project called the AVA project, or Autonomous Vehicle Assistant, which provides a robust solution to these problems, and I'll briefly discuss some of these here. An important innovation of our approach that I want to discuss is that AVA is inclusively designed from the onset. And this is important because it means that we're involving blind folks at all stages of our development, including myself, who is congenitally blind. We're also incorporating multimodal interfaces. So what I mean is interfaces based on combinations of vision, natural language, and vibration cues. And so this allows for the system to support any users of all ages, so whether they be sighted, low vision, blind. We're also building the system around the use of a smartphone. And this is important because 90% of blind people already own smartphones, meaning that our system can be immediately deployed once FAVs are on the road. Some quick background. So AVA is meant to perform several functions. So first, it serves as an accessible app for summoning an autonomous vehicle. It assists the user with safely navigating to the vehicle and while detecting and identifying obstructions and objects on the path. And it helps what you can think of as the last meter problem, so finding and entering the specific vehicle. And it turns out this is critical, especially in an FAV where there's no longer a human driver in the loop to provide this information. Okay, so we will now show you some examples of some common challenges that a blind user may face in Maine when they're navigating to a ride-shared FAV. And this will be followed by some examples of how AVA provides a solution to these problems.
So we're in Maine, it's the middle of winter, and there's ice. How do we deal with this?
Ice is always treacherous, so it's obviously slippery, and it's in the middle of the path. So when you're walking down the path, the dog will sometimes go around it. But sometimes he doesn't really see it as dangerous until I'm on it and I start slipping, and then he says, "Oh, we have to get over this fast because it's dangerous." So he'll speed up. So as I'm slipping, he's taking off.
So this is like a road hazard. I think they set this up because of the ice here going into the drain. I mean, how do you handle these type of cones?
I mean, cones are something that I'm not going to have any idea that they're there. So the dog will hopefully see them and go around them or bring me between them. If you have a cane, I'll hopefully tap it if you're tapping and hopefully touch the cone. Otherwise, you just plow into it. But the goal is for the dog to see the cone and hopefully bring me between them without touching it.
So this is a guy wire, and sometimes these things are not very well maintained and they end up right in your path like this. As a visual person, I can see it, but what do you do in this situation?
This is a really dangerous situation because dogs look down. Just that's their natural way of looking. And if you have a cane, a white cane, it's also down. So anything above chest level, face level is really dangerous. So if you walk up to this, the dog will go right under it, and I'll whack this with my head. I've actually knocked myself out hitting these things because it will clip you at full speed. Hit this with your face.
Especially if they're at full tightness, I would imagine they're not going to give.
Well, either way, even when you hit this thing, just imagine something randomly just suddenly cracking you in the face.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't sound like fun.
And it's really dangerous, and it's very difficult to solve because it's not that the dog is making a mistake; it's that their optics look down.
So when they say to you, "There's a gray SUV and there's two of them,"
well, the color means nothing. So I mean, I'll tell the dog to find a car. That's a command he knows, but he has no idea what car, and he doesn't always go to a car. So he might find something else that he thinks I might like as well.
So when this car is closer to the end of the path,
so he's going to always go to the first car,
right?
And then he's going to bring me to. So he won't bring me to the door. So I'm actually find the car, and he might bring me to the front of the car, where okay, fine, that is a door handle, but it's just fluff. Like I could just easily come over here, and be like, "Oh, that's a nice gas tank."
Yeah.
Can't get in there.
And so not only do I not know it's the right car, it's also kind of it's dirty. It's winter. Like I don't want to be touching all over a dirty car.
Yeah.
And it's just so once I realized that's the wrong car, I would tell him again, find the car.
Yeah.
And then if he sees another car, he might go to it. But if there's a whole line of cars, so imagine we're at a place where there's a bunch of Ubers or there's a bunch of just cars waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has no idea what an Uber is, and you get into a car that's not your car.
Yeah.
People get real freaked out. I've done this lots of times. You get in, and so now I always ask. This is one of the biggest challenges because it's hard to ask the AI, "Hey, are you my autonomous vehicle?"
In the following demonstration video, Dr. Nicholas Giudici is being picked up by an autonomous vehicle in an unfamiliar location near his office building. Nick is walking with his guide dog Norbert on a snowy Maine day. He is holding an iPhone in front of him with the Ava app open. Ava recognizes and displays potential hazards like ice and overhanging branches along the path with high contrast bounding boxes. Using a unique handoff between computer vision and natural language, Ava is able to recognize the ice and branches and tell Nick via his wireless headphones. Ava also alerts Nick with a vibration pattern that Nick can turn on or off as desired. Nick and Norbert take a left along the sidewalk before encountering an obstruction. Norbert looks at Nick for directions, who has just been told by Ava that the obstruction is multiple traffic cones. Nick can now confidently move around the cones, knowing what they are. Ava continues to direct Nick to his vehicle by using spatialized audio and directions along the sidewalk. Before long, Ava recognizes an overhanging guy wire and updates Nick on his approximate distance to the object, as well as that it may be at head height. This way, Nick knows when to duck to pass under the guy wire. As Nick makes progress towards the pickup location, Ava continues to provide alerts about ice in the path. Nick tells Ava to stop audio ice alerts to focus on the directions and the distance to the vehicle, which Ava also provides. Parked in the pickup area are two vehicles. Whereas Norbert may become confused when Nick says, "Find the car," Ava's unique two-app system allows Nick to know which car is his. Using proximity sensors, Ava tells Nick how far he is from his car, which door to enter, and highlights the door handles to aid in vehicle entry. As he approaches the vehicle, haptic and auditory cues further enhance this guiding process.
In conclusion, these videos demonstrate some of the problems a blind person might face when navigating to their FAV and how Ava provides accessible solutions. Note that our example involved navigating to a reasonably nearby pickup spot and only used a few hazards. We also were not showing the accessible app for summoning the vehicle or how Ava could be used to navigate much longer routes with other types of hazards along the way, although this is all part of our development cycle. In addition, the Ava platform currently involves multiple discrete modules. So for instance, we have the module for pre-journey ride ordering, we have another supporting safe and efficient navigation to the vehicle, and a third looking at real-time last meter assistance for finding the specific car and door handle. These systems rely on prototypes applications that between now and May will be integrated into a unified platform. Finally, since Ava can be implemented on existing hardware, we think there is enormous opportunity to develop inclusive new education and training tools around safe and efficient AV usage. To this end, beyond the current phase of IDC development, we plan to use Ava with O&M instructors to co-create a series of learning modules for use with blind and visually impaired users to train with simulated AVs and a range of different usage and environmental scenarios. This will be important for training before these vehicles are on the road in large numbers. Thanks, and we look forward to your input and your suggestions on our project.